Good morning, mythology students. Hopefully, I am talking to somebody. I get a sense that my mythology class is more and more just kind of fading away. So I hope that you actually watch these videos. I hope that you're able to make some progress this week. I have the main focus being that creation myth from the Greeks. If you hadn't worked through it last week, it's due at the end of this week. I had it split into 2 weeks so that really you were reading about 10 pages a week. My hope was that you would have read it last week. I talked about, maybe doing 5 pages a day, but I saw that very few people had submitted the reading guide, so maybe you're still working on that. That's fine. I have a lecture video posted of me talking through the myth, not to explain what happens in Fill in the Study Guide, but I'm trying to push a little bit to show you the type of thinking that we can do. So in that lecture video, I talk about different themes that show up, different power dynamics at play, and different things that are revealed about Greek culture. So it's my way of trying to show you how the myths can do more than just tell stories. The number one thing I talk about in that myth is, or in the lecture videos, of how the myth of the creation really reflects a lot of how the Greeks valued and believed things that worked in their world. These creation myths weren't necessarily what they thought to be true, but because they didn't have any real forms of science, they created stories to explain what was going on in the world. They didn't know what happened with the volcano. So instead of not knowing, they created stories that eventually people just started to believe in so that they had at least some form of understanding. So I explain a lot of that in the video. And then there's also a doc posted that gives you different options. I think there's 4 options in there, and it's really, really important to me that you understand that there are options. There's 4 different tasks. All I'm asking is that you complete at least one. I say at least because maybe some of you will have some inspiration and maybe want to push. Maybe you've not done much in the previous weeks. You want to get back on track. So, as a sign of good faith, you complete 2 tasks instead of just one. But all you have to do is complete one of those creative tasks posted. And I did one example in task number 1 just to kind of test it out. It took me about 7 minutes. Now, it might take you twice as long, so you're looking at maybe 15 minutes. Maybe you get into it, it takes you 30 minutes, but those aren't meant to be hour-long assignments. It's creative thinking, where you actually have to think like the Greeks might have, and each task gives you a different direction to think in that. I think the last task is mostly just using Google to find stuff if you're not really feeling very creative, so there's a way out of that. But that would be your goal for the week, is to get one of those tasks done. So with the creation video that I have posted, I think it's a 30-minute lecture. And then, one of these tasks, let's say you really get into it, it takes you 30 minutes. You got about an hour of mythology work this week. Now, if you didn't do the guided reading from last week, now you probably have about another half an hour to tag on to that. But that also means that you had last week completely off, that you did nothing last week. So you had that vacation week, and now you got to double up a little bit this week. If you have any questions about this stuff as we go forward, you got to send me an email, let me know. I can't force you to watch these videos. I can't force you to interact with me. So there is a little bit of pressure on you to step up. If you're really confused by what's going on, the easiest out is just to have a one-on-one conversation. And for most kids that are way behind or struggling, I am counting those one-on-one conversations as completion for the week. So you don't do anything on your own. You don't read, you don't watch my video, but you're willing to have a 15-minute discussion with me just to talk about some of this stuff, maybe work on skills a little bit. That would be your credit for the week. But that's on you to actually contact me for that approach and that option. Otherwise, I look forward to what you guys will create. I hope everybody can get that creation myth reading done and submitted. And I hope to kind of push us forward a little bit to get into more stories and less just background about gods and creation. Have a good week. Clea, do you want to say goodbye? Have a good week.